These sound waves not only go into your brain and affect your brainwave state, but your body as well is a full antenna, and it receives these waves. Each cell that you have, every cell in your body is receptive to vibration. And so when you allow your body to relax, you can receive these vibrations and it can actually affect change. But imagine if, you're not laying down, you're just kind of like tight, and all these vibrations are washing over you. They can't really, in a way, you're resisting them. You're blocking out the vibration from moving through you because of your tension. So try to relax as much as you can. Welcome to Garner Growth. Welcome to Garner Growth. What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Garner Growth. My name is Courtney Garner, and today I'm going to talk to you about using sound in your self-care. So you might be already using sound as part of your own self-therapy anyways, whether that's through using your favorite songs, putting on Adele to help you through a breakup, putting on some rock music to help you work through some anger, frustration. So we already use sound in our daily life as a way to emote certain emotions and feelings and work through things. And today I want to talk to you about being a little bit more intentional about it, and then also knowing more about how it works on your brain and how it really does help to alter your mental state so that you can be more intentional about it and also take more advantage of it. Okay? So there's 3 areas I'm going to cover today with sound therapy. The first one is using pure tones like binaural beats, ambient music. The next one is using your actual voice as an instrument to help change your vibration. And then the last one is music therapy. Like we just talked about, you're probably already doing it, but by being more intentional, you can bring more of that enjoyable kind of therapy into your life. So first thing I want to talk about is something that I've been using for a long time, and that is binaural beats. So binaural beats, which I did not know this when I first started using them, it's not an actual frequency that you are listening to. It's 2 different frequencies. And when you listen to one frequency on this side of your head and the other frequency on the other one, what you're getting is the difference in those frequencies. That is actually the effective tone. For instance, like if you're listening to 400 on this ear and 450 on this ear, the difference between those 2 tones is what you're going to be hearing inside your head on the middle space. And that's why when you do listen to binaural beats, it's best to use headphones. If you're not using headphones, you're probably not getting the full effect of it. Headphones or some kind of stereo sound so that you're actually getting a left and a right different frequency. Otherwise, you are just getting kind of it's melting together and you're not getting the effect of it. So binaural beats is really one of my favorites, the oldest thing I've been using. And Solfeggio, if you haven't heard of that, is one of those things where if you look it up on YouTube, Solfeggio healing frequencies, you'll find a whole list. And that's why I love YouTube. I love that we have these limitless resources because we have free therapy to use. We have all these free tools and resources. So as long as you know about them, you really ain't got no excuses to not take care of yourself and try some stuff out. That's all we're doing is trying stuff out, seeing what works, and just taking note and keep it moving. So with one of the things that I use binaural beats for is relaxation. So if you have any anxiety, whenever I'm nervous, or sometimes you just wake up with anxiety. It could be because you have a lot of things to do. And before you can actually execute those things, because when you're anxious, you have this kind of white noise, frazzled frequency. Your brain waves are not very balanced and it's hard to think. And there's this thing called beta blocking where when your brain waves are in a certain state, it really blocks your cognitive function. So you can't even understand, you can't comprehend as easily. And you feel like your brain is not working. Have you ever felt that? Where your brain is just broken and you're am I dumb? It's not working. So then you pause because that's really all you can do. And it's a good thing to pause because you can't force it to just, work. But one thing you could add on to that pause is listening to some kind of music, binaural beats. One of the newer ones that I started using is called Pure Tone. And Pure Tone, the difference with Pure Tone and binaural beats is Pure Tone is just kind of it could be ooh, but it's just a consistent tone. It's not with the ambient music and chimes, and it's not like a musical production that you would get if you listen to like a guided meditation and it's like, relaxing and flowy. A pure tone is just like a like when I first listened to it, I was like, I feel crazy. Like, what am I doing? But it actually worked because when I took it out of my ear, then I could, first you hear like some like static, like you hear, it's kind of like you blanketed your brain with this pure tone. And when you took it off, when you stopped listening to the pure tone, then you can like hear kind of like the residual of the noise fade, like the waves fading away. And then once that fades away, then you feel more balanced or you feel more present. And I've used pure tones when I have anxiety, when I have emotional energy that is kind of like compressed and I want to like dissipate it. I'll lay down and I'll listen to a pure tone. And they have ones for different reasons, right? Different frequencies, different hertz. And so you can look up pure tone for emotional release, pure tone for calming anxiety, pure tone for healing heartache, whatever you need, right? Pure tone for depression. So look it up. Use these tools, y'all. We have so many resources. And I'm so grateful that we have it and that I'm actually an active contributor to those resources with this podcast. And so find out what you need and actually like implement it. So what I do when I'm using these pure tones is I lay down. Sometimes it's right here on this couch and I'll get comfortable. Laying on my back is the best thing to do because you can really not hold a pose and tension in your body. You can kind of just like let all your muscles melt. If you're at a place where you can't do that, like you're at work, you sitting in your car on your break, you can still just kind of like let everything melt. Drop your shoulders, drop any tension that you're holding in your jaw. Don't look at any screens because when you look at screens, you hold tension in your eye muscles, in your orbital sockets. So by letting go of all the screens, closing your eyes, you release that tension and it allows your body to really relax. And in that relaxation, it's able to be more receptive. If you listen to these pure tones, binaural beats, whatever it is, but you're in a state of tension and anxiety and you're not present, it's not going to do its job. You're not going to be receptive to it. So by relaxing your body first, you're actually allowing your body to be more absorbent, like a sponge. And they're a lot more effective that way. So give that a try. Like I said, find out what you need. There's so many resources out there for these things. The other thing that I really love to do that you guys have seen me do a lot is using singing bowls. So actually using instruments. And there's a difference with using an instrument and then listening. So using your mind to focus on actually playing a singing bowl or using, playing a singing bowl, playing chimes. There's so many different ones out there. Tongue drum. And I have literally all of those. They're like, I'm surrounded by them. A flute. And so if you're playing it, you have to focus. And what that does is it creates a mind-body connection. It takes you out of whatever anxious state you're in, whatever's bothering you, and it connects your mind and your body into one lane. They're now in alignment, and you're focused on playing this instrument. And at the same time, you can hear what's coming out of that instrument. So you're a giver and a receiver in that moment. And that can be really good for you to focus your mind and practice presence. And then if you are just a receiver, let's say like you like go to a sound bath, which I love doing. I love going to sound baths, usually on Sunday. And you're just laying down receiving. You can even turn it on YouTube and you're just listening to this. So now at this state, you're just a receiver. And that's when, like I said earlier, you want to relax your body as much as you can. Release any tension that you're holding in your muscles. Relax your shoulders, drop your jaw, close your eyes, relax your eye sockets, and receive the sound waves. So these sound waves not only go into your brain and affect your brainwave state, but your body as well is a full antenna. And it receives these waves. Each cell that you have, every cell in your body is receptive to vibration. And so when you allow your body to relax, you can receive these vibrations and it can actually affect change. But imagine if, you're you're not laying down, you're just kind of like tight, and all these vibrations are washing over you. They can't really, in a way, you're resisting them. You're blocking out the vibration from moving through you because of your tension. So try to relax as much as you can. It gets easier with practice, and you'll see when you're done that you'll feel a big difference. Maybe not as big, but just any difference, and just acknowledge that difference that you feel. The next time you do it, it grows. And if you give your attention and intention to these things of like, I'm doing this to relax, I'm doing this to change my vibe, I'm doing this to help my anxiety and my depression. When you do that, it works even better, because now you're putting your mind to it. You're putting your mind and your body on one accord with intention. And then you're putting your body in a physical state to be receptive to this sound wave that you're receiving. So give that a try. So we got pure tones, we got ambient music, we have solfeggio frequencies, we have singing bowls and instruments where you're able to use it as a point of focus. If you have ADHD, which I know seems like it's growing, and I think that it's growing not from like a clinical state where it's like an epidemic where it's like a biological thing. I think it's more of a societal thing where how we engage with technology is actually changing how people's attention span is. Basically, we're losing attention span. We're losing our attention span. It's dwindling. And the way that we scroll and exercise short attention to content is actually going to affect how we are able to stay engaged in life. And so that's my theory. There's a lot of articles that support that as well. So it's not just my idea. But I saw that happening just when when Facebook came out and it started doing the auto scrolling. And I'm like, I feel frazzled. Like, I feel like I just killed 1,000 brain cells because I lost myself on this for 30 minutes. And so it does affect our brains. And you'll notice that. And by doing these things like music, sound therapy, you can actually help yourself to not be so affected by using social media in that way. And also, just monitoring your use, taking breaks from it, taking detoxes. Digital detoxes are a really great thing to do, whether it's one day a week, a certain time of the day, after 6 p.m. or after 9 p.m., I don't look at my phone. I do something different that's not social media or, scrolling. I do long form content, maybe in the morning, like a podcast. Those things are different than just constantly scrolling through, context switching a lot with different ideas and different, things that are switching around in our brain. It's kind of like a whack-a-mole in the brain, and it does affect your attention span and how you can focus and how you can learn. You might be thinking I'm not as smart as I used to be. Nah, you have the ability to be just as smart as you used to be. It's just your brain is functioning different because you've trained it to function different. So the next part of using sound for therapy is using your own voice. Your own voice. And you don't have to be a singer, but when you use your own voice, you are doing another mind-body connection because you're actually creating sound from your physical body and you can hear it as well and you can feel it. And so when I did sound, when I did music therapy, I'm not music therapy, when I did vocal lessons, so I had the privilege of doing my vocal training with Willie Norwood. So Willie Norwood is Brandy's dad. He's really good at what he does. And what makes him really good, and for me, was that he focused on how it feels, how the sound feels coming out of your body, out of your throat, how it feels in your face, in your head, the vibration that you're making. And even in different parts in your nasal cavity with different notes. So he really woke me up to feeling my sound versus trying to make myself sound like another singer, because that's a totally different instrument. We're all very unique instruments. And so I was struggling with singing. I didn't think I could sing because I was trying to sound exactly like the singer. I was trying to hit the note just like they did. And so he helped me to change my approach to that and actually feel sound coming out and how it feels in my body and feeling natural with what's coming out. And there was this one point where we're doing a session and I was doing this note that I didn't know I could do. I was just singing and I started to tear up. And so it made me like give me like an emotional response. And I wasn't sad or anything, but it was just kind of like, it felt beautiful. It was like a spiritual connection moment where the sound was coming out. It was like so balanced and like harmonic. That's what it was. It was harmony. And that feeling of harmony coming out of me, through me, it was like a healing moment, you know? And so since that moment, I was just like, okay, like my relationship to singing is so different. I'm not trying to sound like nobody and even sound good per se. I sound good when it feels good. And so that's my advice to you, is to do it in the shower, you know, while you're by yourself, and where we always sound good in the shower. But instead of like just focusing on how you sound, focus more on how it feels coming out of you, and feel it coming from deeper, you know, from your chest. Feel it vibrating in your center of your chest. Feel it coming from your gut, even from your throat. Are you squeezing your throat when you sing, or are your vocal cords just kind of like vibrating, you know, open and vibrating? Is your throat like relaxed? Is your palate lifted, or is it like tight and constricted and you're trying to make something come out? So just focus on, I'm not going to give you a full vocal lesson here because that's not my forte, but these are like the simple things that I learned that I know anybody can implement. And that's focusing on a natural feeling, an open feeling, and focusing more on the vibration, and a sense of like balance and harmony as sound comes out of you versus sounding like hitting a certain note. Okay. So chanting is another way. There's several chants that you can look up as well. You can do mantras from like Tibetan Buddhist mantras. You can do Zen Buddhist mantras. You can do prayers, hymns. Even the way that they read the Quran is they sing it, right? And so the way that they sing it is very like beautiful, harmonic. And that to me is part of what makes it so spiritual, and why people feel it, you know, why people that follow Islam, why they feel it, because it's harmonic and it's like this beautiful song singing about like their spiritual practice. And when you look at Buddhist, they're doing these chants and they're not trying to sound good, but they're doing them in this rhythmic tone, this rhythmic way. And it's harmonic coming out of their bodies. And it's just like when you do it together, you're creating this like symphony of people. And when you all share a vibration, you link naturally. You basically like entrain to each other. So there's this thing like if I was going to sit with you right now and breathe with you, you know, we breathe together in sync, and we did that for, 5-10 minutes, we would in a way sync vibrations. Our heart rates would sync. So if they took a EKG, did a test of our heart rhythm, they would look similar after we've breathed together for a while. And that's our ability as humans to connect. We actually can connect vibrationally just from breathing together. And so when you have like this choir singing together, singing a song, that's why it sounds so beautiful to us. And the vibration of it brings out emotions, because it's that sense of connection that taps us into God. And to me, like that is God when you're connecting, and you're in harmony. Like God is harmony. And so when you have this mass of people doing it, whether it's 2, 3, a whole choir, a whole church, a whole synagogue, when you're doing it together, you're amplifying this vibration of connection and harmony, and everybody can feel it, right? So by yourself, you can do that. You can create harmony just within your body with sound. And so I invite you, like whatever you believe, whatever faith you practice, finding prayers, hymns, chants, songs that what feels good to you, what really like resonates with you, and finding that and using that as a tool to develop your spiritual connection and your sense of harmony and relaxation and connection. All right. So it's really powerful stuff. And we see evidence around it like everywhere, every country, every spiritual faith in some way is using sound as a way to connect to God and to develop their spiritual relationship. And then the last part that we're going to talk about is music therapy. So music therapy is probably the most familiar out of all the stuff that I talked about today. And like I said, there's songs where you can use them to bring out sadness, to help you cry through something. Like I know there's been time where I was like, I wanted to cry, but I was like emotionally constipated. Like it wouldn't come out, but I could feel it like, right here, somewhere. And so I would like put on music to help me kind of bring it out. And lately I haven't been doing I haven't really done music like that because I prefer more the pure tones or some frequency to help me with that. But with music, I used to love me some Adele, y'all. Like every time I went through a breakup, this is like from high school on, every time I went through a breakup, it was like Adele. Who was the other breakup songs? I can't remember right now. But then there's then you get into your feeling strong and empowered. You put on your Beyonce, you put on your Rihanna, you put on your Amy Winehouse when you're feeling in a different state of the breakup. If you need to feel empowered, you put on some music maybe about making money, if I want to get into business mode and be yeah, let's go make money, I'm gonna put on Future, it's just if you're going to go to the gym, you might put on something that's going to hype you up, DMX, Kendrick, whatever does it for you. And so we already do this. And there's one thing that I've learned is to branch out of your current musical sphere, because we all kind of have a comfortable place we play in with music. My music tastes are all over the place. I got some weird stuff. There's this one band called Daka Braka, and it's a Ukrainian band that I discovered a few years ago. And I was listening to it in the car, and I was this is I had never heard nothing like this before. But it was a sound therapy track where they were using their throats to make bird noises and just different things. And it was just it did something for me, So I really developed my musical taste by looking for music that just makes you feel a certain way, and focusing more on how I feel with the music versus how it sounds, and not always thinking oh, I'm gonna put on music because I want to dance. Sometimes I put on music because I want to be, at peace. I want to feel I'm just calm and relaxed. I want to read a book, and using it as a soundtrack of my life, but more intentionally knowing that there's so many different ways that I can implement it into my day or into the situation that I'm in. So the other thing I wanted to talk about using it for certain emotions. So anxiety is really common for everybody. It's not anybody is separate from anxiety, just different, intensities of it, and also different ways of coping with it. So when you have anxiety, there's ways you can deal with it, whether you can work it out with something that's amped up, some music and sound that's going to get you to move your body. And moving your body along with sound is another way that you're going to really amplify and strengthen the effect of it. So by listening to music, she's digging in the floor. By listening to music, you can change your brain waves, right? So it's called brainwave entrainment. So you're changing your brainwave from something that's dissonant, that's just discombobulated, and you're not able to focus, you don't feel good in your body, you're not able to learn. And you can change that brainwave state to something that's calm, theta, relaxing. And so every emotion that you have actually has a brainwave state that goes with it. So we can measure any mood that you're in, measure your brain waves, and it'll be okay, you're in this range of frequency. And it has a name. It'd be beta, theta, gamma, delta, alpha. I think that's it. And not in that order also. But you can change your brainwave states. And so by moving your body with it, whether it's I need to move my body in a rhythmic way, in a slow way, because I want to be more relaxed and calm, you're telling your body, relax and calm down by the way that you're moving it in this rhythm, by creating rhythm with your body and also listening to the rhythm. Again, mind-body connection. So you can do that with music. The brain is going to listen to the music and it's going to be affected by the frequency. Your body is moving along with it, and you're telling yourself a certain story. You're telling yourself a certain message, and you're telling yourself how you want to feel. And you can do that with rhythm. So let's say that you are depressed. Depression could be anxiety, depression, right? It could be that big of a difference. So if you're depressed and your mood is low and your body is heavy, feels like a stone, you're sluggish, what you can do is move. And it doesn't mean that you got to feel good when you're moving at first. You're probably not, because your brainwave state is not in a state where it's happy, right? So, but by using your body as a vehicle, as a tool to carry a certain frequency, you can change your brainwave state. And so again, just like you use your body to calm anxiety in a certain rhythm, you can use your body to bring up your mood from depression. And it could be temporary. Yeah, of course, it could be temporary. Everything's temporary. But it can help you get out of a rut that otherwise you might just stay in. You might just stay laying there. You might just stay not doing nothing. And so turn on that music, whatever it is, and you dance it out, and you might get yourself to a neutral state. You know, you might not go to euphoria because that's just not maybe realistic, but you'll get yourself to a neutral state where now you can actually get your work done. Now you can actually go run that errand or do that thing that you need to do that you keep putting off because physically you just feel so heavy and sluggish. So that's another way that we can use sound therapy to alter our brainwave state, alter our minds, and really affect our mental health in a positive way, and be more intentional about it. So we went through three things using sound for self-care. So I told you about ambient music, solfeggio frequencies, binaural beats, pure tones. So I want you to look up those things and see what the options are. Try some stuff out. And then let me know in the comments what you liked. Let me know what you found. Like if you found something that actually worked and how it made you feel. And then the second one is using your actual voice, using your body really, because, you know, physical engagement with sound is what we're talking about. We want to use the body. So using your voice, singing with feeling and feeling vibration and feeling what harmony feels like versus trying to sound like a singer. You know, we're trying to sound good. So focusing on feeling harmony in your body with your voice. And it can be through chants. It could be through hymns. It could be through singing an actual song. There's just so many good options out there. So again, if you have some recommendations that you tried, put them in the comments, share it, because we all learn from each other and we all have different tastes. So by sharing what you like and what's worked for you, I might find something that actually worked for me that I might not have found out in my algorithm, right? So we can kind of branch out by influencing each other. And then the last thing is music therapy. So, you know, using your, expanding your playlist, but also being more intentional with how you're using music, and in also incorporating movement with your music so that you can affect change in your brain, whether it's through because you need it for, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling heavy in your body, you need to shake it out, or you're anxious and you need to calm down. Just remember your body, your whole body is a receptor. It's not just going into your ears, into your brain as the antenna. Your whole body is an antenna. And so by relaxing your body to receive sound and also moving your body to a rhythm, you're able to entrain your brain waves and actually change your brainwave state. All right. So I hope that was good for you guys, because I really enjoyed talking about sound. It's something that I've been using for as long as I can remember. I would say sound music therapy would be my first form of self-care before I even knew what self-care was. And that's true for a lot of you, right? So now we can take this kind of information, these tips, and expand upon that, explore some more, see what else we might like and what really could work for us, be more intentional, and just take better care of ourselves. That's what it's really about. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then share this too. Like, share this because you know that it's going to be helpful for somebody, especially now we're starting a new year. Okay. And we need to really find ways that are really realistic and accessible for us to take better care of ourselves and actually, like, you know, stay on top of some of the goals that we have and see ourselves accomplish and feel ourselves in that flow mode, that flow state of accomplishing the things that we have in our minds and our dreams. And we want to see them come to fruition. And in order to do that, you got to be able to take care of yourself, and you got to be able to manage your emotions and manage your mental state. Otherwise, you know, it can always just lay you out and distract you and have you frazzled. So these are, yeah. All right. Leave with love. Thanks for watching.
Like, subscribe, share the growth.
When if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be